So today on Bnei and HaNeviim, we're going to get a little bit American. We're going to discuss if the Torah, in fact, has its own version of the Second Amendment.
As incidents of anti-Semitism rise, fears of violence are hitting home in the U.S. For some in the Jewish community, the concern for safety has prompted them to rethink whether to own a gun.
As of late, Jews have been, very concerned with self-defense, learning martial arts, getting their firearms licenses, practicing going to the range. Unfortunately, with all the things that are going on, all the anti-Semitic incidents going on, is there a source for this in the Torah? Are Jews allowed to go around carrying weapons? Is it a mitzvah? Is it something that should be sought after? Should you spend your time investing in all these skills? On the one hand, you won't necessarily see in the Torah that there's an outright commandment, thou shalt carry your 9mm pistol or your AR-15, just in case you can save a life. We don't see that anywhere. However, when we do look at different periods throughout the Tanakh, the Jewish Bible, you'll see many incidents where our heroes, our forefathers, the people we look up to, are carrying weapons or implements of sorts to defend themselves or defend life or protect others from harm. So we're going to go through a few different sources. We're going to look through the Torah and see, can we come to a conclusion? Is there a Torah's version of the Second Amendment? Is this a value that we believe in? So first and foremost, we have our forefather, Yakov. He's about to leave Aram Naharaim, northern Syria, in that area. He is coming back with all of his 12 children after they're all born, and they're coming back to the land of Israel. And lo and behold, he gets news that his brother, who has been out to kill him since his youth, since he stole his blessings, is out to kill him. What does Yaakov do in preparation for this? So Rashi and our rabbis tell us that he did three things. He prepared a gift, he prepared his prayers to save him from his brother's hand, and he prepared for war. So already from here we see Yaakov was not necessarily on the way to fight Esav, but he was scared that he would be confronted with a preemptive attack from Esav to kill him. That was not in Yaakov's interest to go after his brother and take him down before that happens. But should Esav come with his 400 men and, God forbid, try to strike down his whole family, he has to be prepared. He has to do everything within his means. So that is one example from Sefer Bereshit. Another example from Sefer Bereshit is when Dina is kidnapped by the city of Shechem, and there's no one to help her out. Levi and Shimon take their implements of war and they go and do what they do to the city to take their sister back, to save her from captivity. So we see through these two examples that there is some value in using weapons as a defensive method and in order to save life and protect others from harm and from being mistreated. The Torah further tells us that there's a mitzvah, and thou shalt be exceedingly cautious for your own life. How our rabbis explain this is that when you're driving in a car, you wear a seatbelt. If you're riding on a motorcycle, you wear a helmet. If you're jumping out of planes, you should wear a parachute. So we know traveling by land across cities from city to city was a very arduous task back then. It was ripe with danger, wild animals, crazy weather, scorching sun, and, not least of all, bandits and pirates along the way. So it was a very natural thing to do when you're going on traveling or when you're shepherding or when you're going out into the wilderness. You carry some sort of implement to protect your life. That's totally natural. It is something that would be expected of someone who values his life and his time here on earth. Another example we see is in the book of Shoftim with the judge Ahud. So at that period of time, the Jews were under subjugation to Eglon, the king of Moab, and they had to bring their monthly offering of gold and precious jewels to Eglon to be tributes to him, as he was the ruling figure in the land of Israel at that time. He subjugated the Jews for many years. Ehud stood up. So what Ehud did was he hid a blade in his right side. He was a lefty, and that was something that was a little bit more uncommon back then. So no one would expect to do the search on his right. That's to draw from your right hand. So when it came time for Ehud to bring the tribute to Eglon, he was accompanied by his friends along the way. They brought the tribute back. They settled it there. Everything looked clean, smooth operation. They left the goods there and they started heading back. What Ehud did was he walked his friends all the way back out of the site of danger, and then he went back. he had a special message for the king of Moab. He went inside, and as you read the story in the book of Shoftim, he executed the king of Eglon, who was quite cruel to the Jewish people in his treatment, and he ended the subjugation of the Jewish people to Eglon. What ensued was skirmishes and wars, and the Jewish people were able to take back their freedom and their land from the king of Moab. Now let's bring this back to modern times. And as discussed in previous videos, many rabbis actually say that one is allowed to carry even a firearm on Shabbat because of the imminent threat of danger to human life, as we see unfortunately in instances around the world. So, should you carry a firearm? Should you get a firearm? Well, that depends. How regularly are you going to train? How safely are you going to train? Are you going to be proficient and comfortable carrying that? Are you going to make sure that by you carrying a firearm, are more people going to be in danger? Or are you going to be more of a protector for other people? Now again, every incident requires a lot of deliberation. Everyone should know when they should stand down, when they should interfere, when they should get in the way and protect other people, and when, unfortunately, you can't do anything. Everything requires a lot of thought and, sometimes split-second decisions. But obviously, if you are in immediate mortal danger, anything goes. You have to save your life. And so too says the Torah. Someone who rises up to harm you and put your body in harm's way, you have every right to preempt that and make sure that they don't get a chance to do that. In the Talmud, they actually bring a very interesting case regarding robbers and protecting property. If someone is coming to your house to basically run away with your stuff, are you allowed to harm them? So in America, obviously, everyone knows the answer. You enter someone else's property, you got the shotgun in your face. But what does the Torah say? So the Torah says that if it's clear to you that this person is not going to harm you, you're not allowed to do anything. You can detain the person, you can try to fight him back and fight him off, but you cannot put him in harm's way if it's clear to you that he's not going to hurt you. However, if the person is a stranger and you don't know who he is, someone's digging into your house, digging tunnels into your house, or he's breaking through their front door, most robbers have the intention to get away with your stuff, whether you're dead or alive. So even though we don't know the person's intention, you can assume that most robbers are here to take what they can at any cost, unless it's like your family or something like that. They're just coming in to steal you. God forbid you have family like that who's will break into your house. So there you have it. That's the Torah's take on self-defense and protecting one's life and property. If you have your tools, train with them regularly. Use them to defend others, use them to make sure that you are a defender and helping society function in a normal way. We've seen what happens to societies again when that doesn't happen, when even the police aren't allowed to do their jobs. Be there for one another as a community. It's very important, especially in these times. And as fun as it is to go to the range, I love going to the range, practice regularly, shooting different guns all the time. Don't get carried away with the culture. The culture is there to get you training, and yeah, it's exciting while you're doing it, but remember the words of the prophets. At the end of the day, all those implements of war are going to be turned into plowshares or peaceful tools in a time when we're not going to have murder and thievery anymore, when Mashiach comes. Be'ezrat Hashem b'meira b'yameinu. Stay safe, stay sharp. There's time, but no time to waste.